Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Todd Chrisley wants his 80-year-old mom Nanny Faye to be the next Golden Bachelorette. Todd Chrisley suggests his 80-year-old mom, Nanny Faye, star in the Golden Bachelorette, but she shuts down the idea. Nanny Faye is content being single, focusing on family, post-Todd and Julie's release, and having peace with her past. Despite Todd's enthusiasm, Nanny Faye prefers not to date on TV, emphasizing family and close friends as fulfilling. Todd Chrisley has a new dream casting for the Golden Bachelorette, and it's his own mom. The senior spin-off of the Bachelor franchise launched last year with the first lead, Joan Vassos, 61, getting engaged to 60-year-old Chalk Chapel by the end of the season. Now Todd's convinced that his 80-year-old mom, Nanny Faye Chrisley, would be the perfect pick for the next installment, and he's not shy about saying it. The idea arose while Todd and his wife, Julie Chrisley, were chatting with Nanny Faye on their Chrisley Confessions 2.0 podcast. At one point, Nanny Faye confidently claimed she looked pretty good to be 80, which is when Todd teased that maybe it was time for her to get back out there and find a man. He even floated the idea of her joining a dating app, but Nanny Faye quickly shut it down. Then Julie chimed in and suggested that maybe Nanny Faye should try the Golden Bachelorette instead, and Todd lit up. He started hyping her up right away and joked that she'd have like 12 men fighting for her attention. While the rest of the family seemed entertained by the thought, Nanny Faye herself wasn't on board. She made it clear that being on the Golden Bachelorette just wasn't for her. One big reason is because she's never even watched the show before, so the idea of being the star of it felt a little out there. And when it came to the thought of dating on national TV, she had no interest in putting herself in that kind of spotlight. She even laughed and said she could barely handle one man, so dealing with a dozen of them would be way too much work. It's easy to see why Todd thinks his mom would shine on the Golden Bachelorette. Nanny Faye's got the kind of charm and quick wit that would instantly stand out on a reality show filled with big personalities. Plus, she's already a familiar face to reality TV fans. She starred in all 10 seasons of Chrisley Knows Best, made guest appearances on Growing Up Chrisley, and she's also set to return in the family's upcoming series, The Chrisleys. Back to reality, which premieres September 1. A big part of why Nanny Faye isn't interested in dating again might just be that she doesn't feel the need to. Her focus is on her family, especially now that Todd and Julie are finally back home. The couple had been serving multi-year prison sentences after being found guilty of tax evasion and bank fraud in 2022. But earlier this year, in May, they were granted pardons by President Donald Trump. On the same podcast episode, Todd joked about being gone for 28 months and asked his mom if she'd found a new special friend while he was away. But Nanny Faye shut that down just as fast. She said all her friends are special enough, and she doesn't need a man to feel happy or fulfilled. Nanny Faye was previously married to her late husband, Gene Chrisley. They tied the knot in the 1960s and stayed together until he died in 2012 at the age of 77. Gene was a Korean War veteran, and the two of them built a full life in Atlanta raising their sons. On the podcast, Nanny Faye explained that having one husband and one dog was enough for her. "I don't want another husband. I'm not interested in being a nurse or a pocketbook," she said. Looking back, she admitted that there were opportunities to start a new relationship, but she chose not to. She's happy with that decision and feels at peace. For her, family and close friends are more than enough, and she doesn't feel the need to start over. The Golden Bachelorette is available to stream on Hulu. The Chrisleys. Back to Reality 2 night premiere will air on September 1 and September 2 on Lifetime. Todd Chrisley wants his 80-year-old mom Nanny Faye to be the next Golden Bachelorette. When Todd Chrisley dreams big, he never dreams small. From the moment The Golden Bachelor became ABC's breakout success, viewers wondered which fabulous senior could step into the glittering shoes for the Golden Bachelorette. While America had plenty of guesses, Todd already had his pick lined up. None other than his beloved, outrageous, and endlessly witty mother, Nanny Faye. At 80 years young, Nanny Faye has been stealing scenes and hearts on Chrisley Knows Best for years. She's flirted with grocery store clerks, sneaked casino trips behind Todd's back, and delivered quips sharp enough to rival any comedian. To Todd, the idea was obvious. Who else could possibly handle 25 men in one mansion? Nobody but my mama. The pitch heard around reality TV. From his prison cell, Todd has been known to keep up with pop culture gossip through family visits and letters. And during one of those emotional visits, he reportedly looked at his daughter Savannah and said, "Sweetheart, if ABC wants ratings, they'll call your grandmother." That single line set off a wildfire of speculation. Could Nanny Faye, with her leopard print wardrobe and love of wine spritzers, actually take on the mantle of the Golden Bachelorette? According to Todd, she's tailor-made for it. She's charming, she's funny, she's got more personality than half the people on TV, Todd allegedly told a friend. And don't let that age fool you. She's still got more energy than I do on my best day. Why America already loves Nanny Faye. Anyone who tuned in to the Chrisley family's reality show knows that Nanny Faye has a fan base of her own. She became a cult favorite thanks to her rebellious streak and grandmother next-door relatability. Unlike many reality matriarchs, she never chased fame. She simply lived out loud, whether that meant dragging her grandkids to the dog track, hiding slot machine receipts, or making wisecracks at Todd's expense. That down-to-earth attitude is exactly what the Golden Bachelorette needs. The first season of The Golden Bachelor captured hearts because it reminded people that love, hope, and butterflies don't end after 50. But with Nanny Faye, the show could bring even more humor, warmth, and a little southern sass into the mix. Imagine her first night at the mansion. Instead of delicate small talk, she might greet her suitors with, "Darlin', I hope you brought your A game, because I've got grandkids who could outdance half of y'all." The men wouldn't know what hit them. The fantasy suites, Chrisley style. Of course, fans are already imagining the chaos of Nanny Faye as the star. Fantasy Suite Week alone could break the internet. Not because of scandal, but because of her comedic timing. Picture her raising a glass of sweet tea and declaring, "Well, honey, at my age, I don't need an overnight date. I just need someone who knows how to rub my feet without complaining." Savannah, who has become her grandmother's biggest protector and cheerleader, has already hinted that Nanny Faye deserves her time in the spotlight. After all the family turmoil, Todd and Julie's incarceration, Savannah stepping into a parental role for her younger siblings, Nanny Faye has remained the glue. Fans often comment that her resilience and humor are what kept the Chrisleys relatable, even during dark times. What better reward than watching her handed a golden rose and choosing from a lineup of silver foxes? Todd's sales pitch to ABC. If Todd had his way, he'd probably draft the press release himself. America is looking for love stories with authenticity, he'd write. And nobody's more authentic than a Southern grandma who's lived, loved, lost, and still believes the best days are ahead. Give her a chance, and she'll give you ratings. Producers would no doubt see the appeal. The Golden Bachelorette thrives on heartfelt conversations, but it also needs levity. With Nanny Faye, every date could turn into a comedy special. Picture her at a romantic dinner, looking across the candlelight and saying, "Well, sugar, I like you fine. But if you don't know how to cook fried chicken, we might have a problem. The suitors who'd line up. Who exactly would compete for Nanny Faye's heart? Todd insists there'd be no shortage of Southern gentlemen, retired athletes, and maybe even a few wild cards. She deserves someone who can keep up with her, laugh at her jokes, and take her to the slots every now and then, he says. Fans online have already suggested everyone from the Golden Bachelor alum to country crooners. Imagine the awkward but adorable karaoke nights. Imagine group dates at the horse races, where Nanny Faye hands out betting slips along with roses. The men might show up with flowers, but Nanny would be more impressed with scratch-off tickets and a promise of Sunday church service.